Hey everybody, it's Business. Welcome back, and I'm covering some Battlefield 1 beta footage that I recorded over the beta. Basically, I had some fun with this game, I had some hard times with the game, and it's basically no different to me in that respect than any other Battlefield game that I've played so far. So as I hatchet a guy and then get bayoneted in the back, which happened pretty damn often. Everybody's just running around with their damn bayonets, and one of the big problems I have with this game, from what I felt is going to be a thing that will probably prevent me from buying it, is the overabundance of melee. You have a massive area in close quarters fights where, like, say I'm running into a room with a shotgun like that, if this guy, for instance, started to hack away with his melee, whether it's a shovel or like a hatchet or whatever the hell he has, I would probably get killed. And it's so gimmicky, and like I totally get the emphasis on melee, but it's so overdone. It's almost not even fun to play close quarters fights because it just turns into a melee fest. A bunch of dudes, trying to out hack the other guy, like, it's a bunch of Jason Voorhees running around, and it just, I don't know, that kind of pissed me off because I wanted to really use the shotgun a lot more because it feels really good, and it sounds awesome, has a great sound texture to it, and which, I gotta say, a lot of the sounds in this remind me of Bad Company 2. So I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the sound design that was in Battlefield 3 or 4, mainly because Bad Company 2, all the guns had their own distinct sound, and then that went away with BF3 and BF4. I really thought they took a huge step back. You could tell what danger you were in based off of the sound of the guns that were being fired at you. I mean, that's a pretty damn significant thing when you're talking about trying to figure out how you're going to approach a situation tactically. But yeah, there's a lot of good and bad with sound, of course, in games these days, and I've become a lot more picky about it myself. But I love the artillery truck, as you saw. It has one of these special little things you'll see in the bottom right, the mine symbol. That's what I just laid. That got me 5 kills. Those little jeeps are death traps, and you'll see, well, you're going to see that again right here. Guy jumps out, and he survives for all of a couple seconds more, where his 4 buddies in the jeep got killed. But this is one of those moments that it's totally Battlefield. I mean, look at the 2 heavy tanks going after each other, both disabled. One gets taken out, guy comes after me, and then the plane crashes right on top of us. Holy shit. There were so many situations like that. It was just so much fun in certain times, and the artillery truck really brought out a lot of that good stuff, in my opinion. It's possibly overpowered, and I say that because it has an anti-air option, but there's no reason to bother with it when you get shots like that, or like this, or there's a few more of these actually scattered throughout the video. But this thing was nuts. It's only a 1-seater, so you drive around in position 1 and you can control the machine gun there. You switch to seat 2 by just hitting 2, and then you've got control of the big gun on top, so you have to constantly go back and forth. So it's kind of a balancing act, but it really didn't bother me at all. It kind of surprised me that it was a 1-seater, though, to be honest with you, and somehow that landship missed the first shot and the second shot, so I'm going to run into him because why not, and I'm going to go ahead and land my mines. I'm going to get the hell out of here, and doesn't look like he runs over anything there, but he comes back for more and gets wrecked. But those mines are still lying around here, right? So I went over towards C, came back to B, and sure enough, another Jeep got blown right the hell up from the mines that were still hanging out there. The mines were so effective in this, and yeah, I just sniped that guy right off the back of the horse. This thing is so much fun, but it really, I would say this and the light tank, they're stupidly overpowered. This probably could get a damage nerf. I would say the light tank definitely needs a damage nerf, but especially an armor nerf. That thing can basically go right up against, the landship or the heavy tank, and that's not how it should be at all. So, whatever. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, it's DICE. They do these kinds of things pretty often, and it's a beta, so balance changes are abound, and they should be expected, especially considering that they've done the whole community test environment with Battlefield 4, and I suspect that they will do exactly the same thing with this in order to get more direct feedback from people and make you know, more changes, more drastic changes more frequently in terms of, like, you know, the testing environment, and find out what works and what doesn't. So that's one thing that definitely improved Battlefield 4, and I think this could definitely benefit from that as well. These little Jeeps, though, death traps. Because once you get the anti-tank rocket, oh my god, the vehicles become so much easier to deal with. Now, the problem is, of course, you have to go prone or you have to be up against an object so you can deploy the bipod and thus actually use the weapon. That's kind of a shitty part because, you know, you make yourself a very obvious target if you're in the window, and you're making yourself a very easy target if you're just lying there on the ground and, you know, waiting to you know, dump those rockets into people. But it's really, I think, not bad at all considering how much damage it actually does. It really does change the game a fair bit. And you want to talk about the game changer? This horse is awesome. This thing is absolutely crazy amounts of fun. I think it's way too generous with the area that you have for like running into people and cutting them down, and you're going to see that here in just a moment. But I don't know why I was thinking the gun would be off the crosshair, but yeah, I wasn't really aiming very properly. But look at this. I'm going to whinny and cut the guy down.
We have lost objective Duff.
I wish I could have seen that from, like, multiple angles. Oh man, that would have been so funny. But there's a guy here in the train car, right? Look at this. What the hell? That is ridiculous. And I was actually cut down once when I was inside, actually this building right ahead of me here at C. I was on the stairs and the guy went around outside and slashed at the damn building, and I got killed. Like, it's really excessive. It's I would say kind of a bit too Battlefront-y for me. Like, look at this. I'm not really near that guy. I shouldn't have gotten that kill at all, but I don't know. Just seems kind of just too easy, you know. But especially if you have bad ping. Oh man, it was even more generous then. But then there's that. And that is the Tank Hunter Elite class. It's an anti-tank elite class that's, you know, on the map. In this case, it's just a map pickup over at E, and there's the flamethrower at B. There's the sentry over at F, which is the machine gun guy. This thing, though, holy crap! I love the sound of it. Like, you feel like a badass when you're wielding it, and it, you know, because it's iron sights. If you're using it against infantry, well, it's a one-shot kill first off, and then it really rewarded good shots, and like, you could set up yourself like Saving Private Ryan, kind of like this whole sequence of events here, which I'll go ahead and stop talking for the remainder of this clip and just let you enjoy it because it's fun.
Halfway there, we have the upper hand.
Over there is an enemy shot trooper!
We are losing objective Charlie.
Watch him! See an enemy medic!
We are losing objective.
Enemy on the car, on move! Movement spotted, enemy medic! Spotted an enemy medic.
We are losing objective Charlie.
That's an enemy medic.
So it may just be a beta, but I gotta say that's one of my favorite things I've ever done in Battlefield is use that tank hunter class.
We have taken objective.
Oh man, so satisfying. It feels good to use that thing. I mean, again, the sound is what draws me in because I use headphones. I've got a decent sound card. Well, it's alright, whatever. I really try to focus on the sound of things because it really draws you in. You know, I value sound as much as people value graphics, even though I have some hearing loss and all that stuff, which is actually, I guess, kind of tied into the fact that I have hearing loss. I really shouldn't joke about that. But, yeah, had some fun stuff happen in the planes, like this situation. Yeah, the guy got shot out, and he did one of those hilarious classic Hollywood sound effect screams, like the Wilhelm scream. I don't know what that other one has. Like, I don't know if that has a name, but it's one you hear, like, in action movies and all sorts of things. It's so funny. But I really wish I got some more time in the attack plane, the fighter plane, the bomber, to use those a lot more frequently, because this is the attack plane with the tank hunter setup, and it's got a big-ass gun on it that does a really good amount of damage, especially to the train and to basically anything. This was actually, I would say, the most dangerous part of any of the bombers, the planes and whatnot. As if you were infantry, this is what killed you more often than anything. And I nailed the shit out of that plane there in the wing, and he's gone straight to hell, of course, with his ability to fly, because wing damage pretty much kills you. And whoo, barely got out of that one, but flat cannon at sea is going to mess me up, and watch what happens to my guy here. He just gets flung right the hell out of the plane. So, but this is more indicative of what you could expect, of course, when you're using the tank hunter in attack plane, and I wanted so much more time in this because I really think it could have been a lot of fun. And you know, you go after infantry, you can see them extremely well and set them up for kills, because I saw guys getting knocked off of roofs by these guys, and there were some really good pilots out there. I was not one of those. Oh shit. I did play all the classes a fair bit, but it was mostly assault and well, the scout class. Of course, the assault class, because it had the anti-tank stuff that I needed, because tanks were just so rampant and you needed to have some sort of ability to respond to them. But I really enjoyed the scout class, and of course, sniping in Battlefield, nobody does it better. And then listen to this.
Taken objective Charlie.
That's pretty cool. That's something they got directly from Battlefront. That definitely gives you a bit more of an immersive aspect to the game, just based off of the sound itself. So they did a great job with that again. But like, sniping felt really, again, there's a tangible quality to the way that Battlefield does it, and this is again more like Bad Company 2 than BF3 or BF4. It feels a lot more tight, a lot more solid overall, and I haven't enjoyed sniping this much in a while, so damn debris. But the classes overall, I really didn't like the medic class. I just the way the guns handled, it just felt too Battlefront-y to me, and I didn't really care for that too much. I actually started getting the hang of the support class. The way the LMGs worked, I was actually getting a fair amount of nice little kill streaks there with it. Sweet old K-bullets, which basically those are, you know, the scene in Indiana Jones Last Crusade where Harrison Ford shoots the gun that kills like 5 guys on top of the tank? yeah, that's basically what the K bullets are for, but they're also pretty decent at the light tank, or I'm sorry, not the light tank, but the light vehicle like the Jeep or the little turreted Jeep. It can do some damage to those guys too and finish them off pretty well. But the big thing everybody wanted to try, of course, around this time of the match was the train. I liked it. And you have 6 spots in it. You know, you've got some anti-aircraft gunners, some machine gunners, and then there's this big heavy-ass cannon on the front. But the driver, and I didn't realize this until later, actually has a artillery shell that he can fire, and you're going to see this here in a moment. But I just had fun using this thing and blowing up the damn walls, and you know people are hiding behind most of these walls, and it had a lot of splash damage. But take a look at this. This is from the driver's perspective. So blow up the mini-map, and you launch this huge artillery shell, but it unfortunately doesn't have that much splash damage. I would rather see it with a larger radius and lower damage, because this thing was just a lot of fun to use. You know, just clearing off enemies on top of rooftops, or like taking the walls out so like they crumple down and like fall to their deaths, which was absolutely hilarious. But the overall thing that happened with the train was that it gravitated the enemy towards them, so people could get over to the caps while hopefully while you guys were drawing the attention away. And I really did like the way that the squad screen was presented here in the end of round stuff, where it showed how you did against everybody else on your team, and it was pretty cool. Now, I'm not personally buying this or pre-ordering it, and not for at least a couple months after it's released, because I want to see if the community dumps it like they did Battlefront, or if they just pick it up and run with it, and hopefully the latter's the case, because there's potential here, but a lot of stuff that definitely needs to be worked on in my opinion. But thanks for watching today, guys. I got some more Warships content coming up for you soon, and I'll see you back here later. Take care.